Hello, I'm Mindy Boxell, and I'm going to present my case study. I'm going to start off with saying that I'm an instructional technology major, not an admin major, so I went with my gut feelings on how to handle this situation. Category 1. What do I know? What do I need to know? And what are problems in this situation? All of these topics are going to be covered. What do I know? Well, I know that Miss Walker, my teacher, is very upset by this situation. She felt that her safety was compromised and she drove 3 hours back to her parents' house after she had read the email and visited the website. Another thing that I know is that many of the parents and students had complaints with Miss Walker's class. There was several phone calls mentioned, and I had talked to Miss Walker about the situation, and she did not implement any of the suggestions that were talked about. And I also know that some disciplinary action is going to have to be required to solve this problem. No way is it okay for students to cause a teacher to feel threatened and no longer safe even in their own home. This situation needs to be handled, and it needs to be handled properly. What do I need to know? Well, I need to know who created this website and email. Did Randy really do this? I need to find out evidence. I cannot go off just based instinct. I also need to know, how much does the school need to be involved with this? Is this a school problem or a legal problem? Do we need to report it to the police first? Should I try to handle it in-house, or does it need to go straight to the police in case something does happen if there's a record about it? And finally, I need to know, how far is Miss Walker really willing to take this legally? Is she so upset she wants to file that police report? Do not have the right to stop her from filing a police report, and I want to know how much time I have before she takes matters in her own hands, because I do know she's very upset. What is the problem? Well, in my eyes, I see there are many problems in this case. I know that there were students that were so upset by the classroom rigor and how it was handled that they felt that they must create a website saying vulgar things about a teacher. I also know that my teacher feels that her safety is at risk. She does not want to even stay in her own home because she feels threatened by what was said in the email. And I also know that there is a problem in this classroom. I know that we have talked about fixing the solution and fixing the problems in her classroom, but they have not been properly handled. I know the parents and the students are very unhappy about this. We are a good school, and this class is causing some of the good students, or the good graded students, to have GPA problems. Category 2. My plan of action with appropriate strategies for implementation. I will be talking about what I think needs to happen from this case and how to make it happen. My plan of action. As the leader of the school, I feel like my job is to protect the school. Number one, if we get sued or if anything bad happens and it falls down on the school, not only is the school at risk, but then those students are going to be at risk because it depends on which road it goes, but any road I can think of is not a good rule if the school is not protected. I think that we need to handle anything legally that could be handled with the school. My second plan of action is to protect that teacher. That teacher should feel safe and secure in her line. There is no reason why she should feel threatened and me letting her get away with it. And thirdly, I want to try to make everyone as happy as I can. I know that there's no such thing as everyone being happy. However, I feel like if we handle this situation in a step-by-step process, has already been laid out to the parents and students prior to any incident, that everyone will feel comfortable with the way we handle the problem. I'm hoping that the school has already had a policy in order saying how any situation would be handled. Some of my strategies for implementing this plan is to talk to a legal team to make sure that I'm truly protecting the school. I need to comfort my teacher. She needs to know that we can't go on gut feelings. We have to support any claims with evidence. We need to keep it off the personal level. She felt like Randy did this. We don't know that for a fact. We have to find the evidence that will support this. If there is evidence and claims to support it, then yeah, let's take that next step on punishing that student. But we cannot just go on a base gut feeling. And finally, I need to question some of the students about what happened and make a plan of action how we're going to handle this problem. If I feel like Randy really did do it, I recall reading that they're going to question Randy and some of the other students. Someone had sent that email to Miss Walker informing her about the website. Therefore, there's somebody who knows that it wasn't right and informing her what it was. Therefore, I think there's someone out there who's going to be able to give us the evidence that we need. Category 3, resolving the issue based on promoting the success of all students. That's very important to being an admin. Promoting the success of all the students includes handling the original problem. This website seems to be a side effect of that original problem. The students were getting poor grades. We thought that was too hard. We need to get to that base problem and figure out how we can make all the students feel more comfortable in that class, as well as support Miss Walker so she feels like she can be the best teacher she can be. We cannot place the blame without evidence on the student. We need to have a bias-free investigation. That will make all the students feel like they are being successful in the school because they're not being blamed without any evidence against them. And finally, following that school policy is going to protect the school and the students' rights and make them be good students. Category 4, the reflection process. What did I think? What do I feel? How do I value? And finally, what's unresolved about this case? What I'm thinking is I think that we need to have better communication between the parents, the students, and the teachers. I know that the students and parents were having an issue with Miss Walker. I'm so sorry. I know that the parents and students were having a problem with Miss Walker, but does she know that? Does she know how parents and students actually feel about this? I think we need to handle that problem. I feel like this situation could go very badly if we don't handle it properly. It has to be handled delicately so that Ms. Walker feels supported and safe, and the students know that we are following the right procedures and their safety and rights are protected. And I'm also, on the positive note, I'm valuing that the students care so much about their grades that they're willing to act upon it. Granted, they did a really bad thing, but they are so involved with being a good student that they were willing to do something very, very bad. Just need to redirect that in a better way. What's still unresolved? I need to know who made this website and who sent it to Miss Walker. We have to figure that out in some fashion. Who promoted this website? Did one student make this? Did several students make it? Did they send it all around and everybody enjoyed it? I need to know some things about that because if it is a class-wide feeling, we need a class-wide talk, not just an individual talk. And finally, the problem in the classroom that's caused all the students to act this way. We need to resolve the original problem that's in this classroom that caused the students to behave this way. Category 5. The administration needs to act with a sense of integrity and ethical behavior. Administration needs to act with fairness, and they also need to demonstrate personal and professional code of ethics. These are all important aspects of an admin to have. In my case, how I solved it, how did I demonstrate integrity and ethical behavior? Well, I feel like we acted quickly when it came to the teacher's safety. I did not just blow it off. I'm like, hey, let's handle this problem. We're not going to wait too long. I want you to know your safety is important to me. Yeah, I think that the website's a joke. I really don't think your safety is in concern. But just in case it is, let's act like it is and handle the problem right now. Also, I feel like I did it with integrity and ethical behavior by exploring the options of how to handle the discomfort between the students and Ms. Walker immediately. We are not going to wait. We are going to handle this problem right now, and we are going to have several different roads that we can take, depending on how the situation plays out. How did I treat people with fair, equal dignity and respect? I'm not going to move forward with any gut feelings without having the proper evidence. I'm going to have to give each side the time to react in a safe and calm environment to hear each side of the story. I'm not going to give any one person more leeway than anyone else. I need to hear each side of the story. And I'm going to handle the whole problem, not just part of it. I'm not going to handle just the part of the website. I want to handle the reason, the stem of the problem, quickly and without delay. And how did I demonstrate professional and personal code of ethics? I think that giving Miss Walker a night to cool off, to come to school the next morning, to talk about the situation and think about how we can handle it properly, was giving her the time to get rational thoughts together, not just the heat of the moment. I think that's going to give us way better stuff to work with rather than raw emotions. It gives us logic to work with. I also am going to stay the neutral party. I'm not going to hold one person above the other. I feel like we need to handle the situation, but we need to do it with the proper steps in place. I want to be legal. I want it to be safe. So that's how I'm going to handle this problem. Thank you.